Nate Mayhem Maness as a plus 160 underdog against the minus 200 favorite in Tony Gravely, man. So listen, man, I'm a big fan of Tony Gravely, AJ. I think that I've made him a sleeper a couple times on this program, but Nate Maness is nothing to play with, man. This is someone who, once again, I think a lot of people do not know about. This card overall doesn't have the biggest of names, but listen, what stood out to Nate Maness? What stood out about Nate Maness to you specifically, AJ?
I'm in agreement with you, Derek. I love Tony Gravely, but I think this one is going to be a crazy fight, man. Nate Maness, he's long, he's lanky, and one thing, if you go watch his first fight in the UFC, he takes a cup check very well.
Oh yeah.
All right, Munoz Jr. man, he hit him in the groin multiple times, and at that point, getting kicked 8, 9 times in the nuts, it's a mental thing. You just gotta dig down, bite in the mouth, and say, "Fuck it, I'm beating this dude's ass for doing what he did to me." What I like about Nate Maness, man, he'll switch stances very often, and he closes the distance with it. He's really fluid, very fluid. He needs to utilize a little bit more combos. He does stay just with the 1, 2, 3. And that's it. And then he's down to trade. He's a little bit patient, but it can be to a fault because he gets lulled into that trading aspect of fighting. So I think we're in for a very, very fun fight. But what's nice about this opponent matchup against Tony Gravely, the ground game. The ground game's good, man. Nate Maness is a snatcher on the ground, bro. He will literally, if you mess up one little bit, he'll jump on your back real quick. And even against Luke Sanders in his last fight, he did get the round 2 rear naked choke. But before that, he tried to jump literally any opportunity he could. He tried to jump on this dude's back and snatch him up. Nate Maness is nothing to mess with, but like you said, very underknown. And I think this is a good sleeper. But I was gonna make it mine too until it got moved up because this is a banger, bro. For Tony Gravely going forward, man, what you think?
Well, listen, man, I love all the love that we give into Nate Maness, man, but I think he has a very tough task in Tony Gravely, man, and the reason why is because you want to talk about someone being a good grappler, being a good wrestler. Tony Gravely, man, 4-time regional champion, BJJ purple belt, Taekwondo black belt, I guess that doesn't really matter, 2-time NCAA D1 national qualifier, man. This is a dude with legit collegiate wrestling chops, man, and when you see him in the cage, it's super evident. And the big X factor that I got right here, AJ, Tony Gravely is pulling the Duran win roll on this one because he is 5'5", my man. Nate Maness, we're sitting at 5'10", so it's going to be a real height disadvantage. It's going to be a reach disadvantage, about 3 inches for Tony Gravely. I do think the kicks, those Taekwondo kicks, will be able to kind of close that distance a little bit, man. But he has relentless wrestling, man. And if there's one thing that we enjoy on this program, it's the people who are relentless with their wrestling. The Islam Makashevs, you know what I mean? The Merab Dvalishvilis, give me a machine-like character who's going to go in there and he's going to go and not let Maness fight his fight. So that's how I personally am kind of seeing this fight playing out, man. Nate Maness has a clear advantage on the feet. I think he's nice with his striking, you know what I'm saying? But once again, Tony Gravely, man, when you're that power wrestler, when you're able to just go 3 rounds with the wrestling, Gravely will get tired end of round 2, come round 3. But I mean, what do you think? Do you think Nate Maness will be able to turn this into a grappling match and to try to counter the wrestling? Because if it goes wrestling on wrestling, I mean, who do you think wins, man? Do you respect Gravely's wrestling as much as I do?
Yeah, I do. I feel like Gravely is the better fighter, but the better fighter doesn't always win, Derek.
Sure.
Excuse me. I feel like Gravely is a lot better of a wrestler, but Maness is a sneaky on the ground, man. He can easily turn this one into, excuse me.
So we're going to get a cough mic one of these days, folks. It's all good.
And it's weird my mute button doesn't work. I just pressed it. But anyway, I like Gravely because he's mean in a little package, man, but he doesn't carry the power. I don't think he has the power needed to put Maness away. He definitely, in his last fight against Burchak, he was hurting him. He was hurting him dirty, but I think if he had the power, he could have put Burchak away in the first. He had him out. He had him out, and he had him on wobbly stilts. Easily could have gone, easily could have ended in the first, but I don't think the only reason he was doing that is because his timing and his technique is perfect. Literally, on point. Gravely is amazing. However you're going to do, but he just doesn't have the power to take down Burchak, where I don't think, and Nate Maness has a chance. So I don't think Tony Gravely is going to be able to get anywhere near the end of the fight on this one, except, out wrestling and putting that pressure to him because he is a machine. You do got to give him that. Tony Gravely is absolutely incredible on the ground. But it's going to be cool to see how the wrestling goes against the jiu-jitsu because that's what it's made for in this one. Yeah. So I'm interested to see it.
Well, here's the big thing right here, man. The one advantage I do give Nate Maness, he's going to be the bigger man, not just height-wise, but he is a former regional champion in 3 different divisions, in bantamweight, featherweight, and lightweight, which is super impressive. Tony Gravely, kind of smaller frame, 4-time regional champ, as I've noted before. So both of these dudes have regional championship experience, which I think is very important because you know what it's like to fight 5 rounds. You know what it's like to have that pressure on you. And now you're chasing the title. And listen, the winner of this one, man, I think gets a big, big boost. You know what I'm saying? Up the bantamweight rankings, and we know right now bantamweight is one of the more stacked divisions in the UFC. Believe it or not, man, Tony Gravely actually lands 2 more significant strikes, like double the amount of significant strikes per minute than Nate Maness. So he's a little more active with the hands and with the feet. When it comes to takedowns, man, he averages 6 takedowns per 15 minutes, man, at a 50% clip. So that's the big difference. 88% takedown defense for Nate Maness. And Nate Maness, when he wants to shoot himself, he averages about 1.3 takedowns at a 66% clip, man. So that wrestling, you're going to have to overcome it or else it's going to be a long night at the office. But if we're on the feet, do you think, this is just my last question before picks, man, do you think Nate Maness, whose notable victories in his career over Jesse Arnett, knocked him out, Luke Sanders submitted him, do you think he'd be able to put Tony Gravely out of his consciousness, man? The man has never been knocked out before.
I don't think so. That's a hard question. I don't think so because anything can happen, and you touch that chin correctly, and everyone's going to sleep regardless. You know, as much as mindset comes into play, we are a machine after all, and you hit that button, we go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Maness can do it though. Personally. Yeah.
Gotcha. So, yeah, it'll be a fun fight, man. It'll be a fun fight. Looking overall at these stats, man, I do think that this has got potential for fight of the night on the main card on that one, man. But, yeah, give me your pick and why, AJ.
I'm going Maness by decision on this one, Derek. I know it's the underdog call, and he's a live sleeper on this one, man, because this is a big test for Gravely, and I don't think anyone's giving Maness the respect that really comes with it. And I think because of that, the mindset's going to come into play. I don't think Gravely can put him away, so I think it's going to end up going to the judges, and we're going to see a decision win coming for Nate Maness on this one. Who you got and why?
Well, I've seen Tony Gravely pass the De Freitas test. That was a jiu-jitsu guy, a legit jiu-jitsu guy right there. I've seen him pass the wrestling test in Anthony Birchek. Knocked him out, right? You know, big win right there. Now we're going to find out what are his chops against the striker and the wrestler and the grappler all combined into one. I will say, generally speaking, Tony Gravely has been a big favorite in most of his fights in the UFC. I'm talking about minus 400, minus 500 type stuff. So to see the line at minus 200 opening up, which is probably closer today because, folks, these are opening odds. I do think that they're giving Nate Maness a lot of respect right here, which is important. So I think it's actually flipped, AJ. I'm going for Tony Gravely. I think he's going to win via decision, grinder, wrestling match. You know what time it is. But I do think that a lot of people are counting out Tony Gravely simply because of the size discrepancy and because of the proficiency with the hands and feet of Nate Maness. Tony Gravely's pops, man, is a Taekwondo instructor who's been doing it for over 30 plus years. Gravely's been doing Taekwondo since he was like 4 years old. It's kind of like the Cheyenne Bays story. So listen, man, people look at him as a wrestler, but he got striking chops too. So we'll see what happens. I'm going Gravely decision. You going Maness decision, man. May the best man win.